Gentlemen, let me ask you something that might have crossed your mind more than once. Have you ever found yourself doing everything you thought was right during intimacy, only to realize your partner wasn't experiencing the kind of pleasure you hoped to give her? Maybe you've tried different approaches, followed advice from friends or what you've seen online, but something still feels like it's missing. That gap between effort and outcome can be frustrating, even disheartening. Well, I'm Dr. Nerea Wolf, urologist and pelvic surgeon, and if you ever face questions or concerns about your sexual health or intimate wellness, stay with us. We're here to help you understand your body and your partner's body with clarity, compassion, and comfort. Today, I want to share something with you that has the potential to transform your intimate life. It's not about purchasing expensive products, mastering complicated techniques, or relying on natural talent you think you might not have. This is about understanding female biology, pacing yourself with intention, and applying a scientifically supported approach that most men never learn. When you understand this method, you'll be able to give your partner the kind of deep, trembling pleasure that creates lasting intimacy and connection. Let's start by addressing a common misunderstanding. Many men have been led to believe that oral intimacy is all about technique, speed, or replicating what they've seen in adult films or heard in locker room conversations. The assumption is that if you just do what looks impressive or sounds exciting, your partner will automatically reach climax. But here's the truth that rarely gets discussed openly. Most women require time, rhythm, and anticipation far more than they need flashy moves or aggressive intensity. Female bodies are wired differently than male bodies when it comes to arousal. While men often respond quickly to direct stimulation, women's arousal builds in layers, like waves gathering strength before they crest. If you rush the process, you interrupt the natural progression of her body's response. But if you move with patience, attentiveness, and steady rhythm, that's when the real magic happens. And the single most effective tool for creating that magic is something called the start-stop method, sometimes referred to as edging. When applied correctly during oral intimacy, this approach builds waves of arousal that culminate in the kind of powerful, full-body orgasm that many women rarely experience. And the best part? This isn't about being young, having endless stamina, or possessing some innate gift. This is about understanding her body's biology and synchronizing your approach with her natural rhythm. The biology behind female arousal. Let me explain why this matters from a medical perspective. The clitoris contains over 8,000 nerve endings, the highest concentration of nerve endings in the human body. That's more than twice the number found in the penis. When you understand this, you realize that intensity without buildup can be overwhelming, even uncomfortable. Female arousal isn't a switch you flip. It's a gradual process that involves the nervous system, blood flow, muscle tension, and psychological engagement. When a woman becomes aroused, blood flow increases to the genital area, the vaginal canal lengthens and widens, natural lubrication is produced, and her entire pelvic region becomes more sensitive. But this process takes time. Studies show that while men can reach full arousal in just a few minutes, women often need 15 to 20 minutes or more, depending on the individual and the circumstances. The start-stop method works with this biology, not against it. The emotional component beyond the physical, there's an emotional layer that's equally important. When a woman feels rushed, judged, or pressured to perform, her body's stress response kicks in. Stress hormones like cortisol can inhibit arousal, making it harder for her to relax and surrender to pleasure. But when she senses that you're present, patient, and genuinely focused on her experience rather than racing to the finish line, her body relaxes. That relaxation is the fuel for arousal. It tells her nervous system, it's safe to let go. Now let's break down the start-stop method into 3 clear, actionable steps. Think of this as a roadmap to becoming the kind of partner who not only gives pleasure, but creates an unforgettable, intimate experience. Step 1. Set the stage for comfort. This might seem basic, but comfort is everything. If you can't breathe easily, if your jaw starts aching after 3 minutes, or if she's in a position that makes her feel exposed or uncomfortable, neither of you will last long enough for the real connection to happen. From a biological standpoint, arousal is like climbing a hill. If the climber keeps slipping because the ground is unstable, they'll never reach the summit. Comfort for both of you creates stable ground. Practical tips for comfort. Use a pillow under her hips. This tilts her pelvis slightly, giving you better access and increasing sensitivity in the areas that matter most. Support yourself properly. If you're kneeling, place a pillow under your knees. If the bed is too high, position her near the edge so you can sit in a chair. Your physical comfort directly affects how long you can maintain focus and rhythm. Relax your jaw, keep it loose, breathe through your nose, and settle into the moment. This isn't a sprint, it's an emotional marathon. When she sees you relaxed and in control, she relaxes too. And that relaxation is the foundation of arousal. Step 2, build gradually and patiently. Here's where most men go wrong. They rush directly to the clitoris and apply pressure as if it's a button that needs to be pressed hard and fast. But remember, the clitoris has over 8,000 nerve endings. Too much intensity too early can be overwhelming, even painful. Instead, you build gradually. Think of it like warming up an engine. The slower and more gradual the warm-up, the smoother and more powerful the performance. How to build arousal. Start away from the clitoris. Begin by kissing and gently licking her inner thighs. This area is rich with nerve endings that prepare her body for what's coming. You're not just stimulating her physically, you're building psychological anticipation. Move in slow, widening circles. Use soft kisses and gentle licks around the outer labia. Tease the area without diving straight in. Slowly and deliberately, you're letting her body know, I'm not in a hurry. I want to savor you. Introduce rhythm. Once you move closer to the clitoris, use light, consistent strokes with the tip of your tongue. Move from bottom to top, slowly and rhythmically. If it helps, count your strokes to maintain consistency. Slow and steady wins this race. Why this works. Emotionally, this gradual buildup tells her, I'm not rushing, I want to enjoy you. That message is incredibly arousing. Practically, it also buys you time. You're not exhausting yourself or her. You're in control, and that control creates trust. Step 3, the start-stop secret. This is where the real transformation happens. The start-stop method is about bringing her to the edge of climax, then pulling back, then building her up again. Each cycle amplifies her arousal, so when she finally does reach orgasm, it's not just strong, it's seismic. The biology behind edging. Each time you bring her to the edge and then ease off, her nervous system builds higher levels of arousal. Blood flow increases, muscle tension builds, and sensitivity peaks. When you finally allow her to cross that threshold, the release is far more intense than if you'd rushed her there the first time. The emotional impact. Anticipation drives desire. Think of the difference between drinking a glass of water when you're only slightly thirsty versus waiting until you're truly parched. That delayed gratification makes the experience unforgettable. How to time it perfectly. Watch for the signals. Her breathing quickens, her thighs tense, her stomach tightens, her hands clench. These are signs she's approaching climax. Just before she crosses the line, ease off. Shift to kissing her inner thighs, her lower abdomen, or whisper something warm near her ear. Let her settle for 20 to 30 seconds. Then resume. Go back to the same rhythm and pattern that brought her close. Do this 2 to 3 times during the buildup. On the final buildup, don't change anything. Stay consistent. Let her cross the edge. That's when the fireworks happen. Practical enhancement tips. Use your hands. Gently spread the labia for better access. Add light suction around the clitoral hood, or place a fingertip inside while maintaining oral rhythm. Check in gently. A 5-word question can keep her feeling safe and engaged. More pressure or less here? Or higher or right here? Communication is part of the intimacy. Let me walk you through how to put this into practice the next time you're intimate. First, arrange for comfort. Before you begin, make sure pillows are in place, you can breathe easily, and you're positioned in a way that allows you to sustain your effort without strain. Second, slow your pace. Spend twice as long as you think you should on the buildup. Remember, anticipation is arousal. Don't rush to the main event. Let her body warm up naturally. Third, bring her to the edge. Pay attention to her signals. When you sense she's close, pause. Let her breathe. Let the tension settle, then build again. Repeat this 2 to 3 times before you carry her across the finish line. If you follow these 3 steps, you'll transform from a man who tries into a man who succeeds. And success in intimacy isn't just about physical outcomes. It's about connection, trust, and the kind of pleasure that deepens your bond. For those who think they're too old, some of you might be thinking, I'm too old for this. My stamina isn't what it used to be. Let me tell you something important. Age is not the end of your ability to give pleasure. In fact, many women report that men over 50 or 60 are often the best lovers because they've learned patience. They're not in a rush. They care more about the experience than racing to the finish line. Emotionally, this makes women feel desired, cherished, and safe. Biologically, with the right rhythm, you don't need the stamina of a 20-year-old. You need consistency, and consistency has no age limit. I've worked with men in their 60s and 70s who felt lost in the bedroom, who thought age had diminished their ability to satisfy their partners. But once they learned the rhythm and patience behind this method, they didn't just give their partners greater pleasure. They rebuilt their own confidence. One patient, let's call him Abu Khalid, 64 years old, came to me after years of frustration. He said, I try, I really do, but she either gets bored or I'm exhausted before she gets there. Within 2 months of adjusting his approach, using the start-stop method, he was beaming with pride. His wife told him it was the best intimacy they'd had in decades. That's why I can say with absolute confidence, this isn't theory. This works. Gentlemen, here's the truth. You don't need to reinvent yourself. You don't need to be younger, wealthier, or stronger. You just need to understand her body, respect the process, and give her the patience she craves. The start-stop method isn't just a technique. It's presence. It's showing her that you're a man who listens, who notices, and who is confident enough not to rush. It's a way of saying, you matter. Your pleasure matters. I'm here with you, fully. So tonight or the next time you're intimate, try it. Set the stage. Build slowly. Bring her to the edge twice. Then let her soar. Watch what happens, not just in her body, but in the way she looks at you afterward. That's when you'll know you've given her something rare. Your intimate life isn't over. In many ways, it's just beginning. With small, intentional changes, you can create comfort, confidence, and connection that lasts a lifetime. If you found this helpful, I'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment and let me know. What's one thing you wish you'd learned about female pleasure 20 years ago? And remember, take care of yourself because you're worth it.